Hey guys, what is going on? Shadow of Nexus back here with another video, and we gotta talk about Clair Obscur Expedition 33 being disqualified from the Indie Game Awards. So this was a little bit of an older story. I'm kind of a little bit late to it as always, but I really wanted to talk about this because a lot of people were giving smack to games like Call of Duty Black Ops 7 for using AI for their calling cards and saying that the campaign is AI generated, while the game that won the most game awards in Game Awards history, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, was using generative AI. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, a lot of people, they are hypocrites. They loved Clair Obscur Expedition 33, but as soon as they figure out, oh hey, this game is AI generated or it's using generative AI, when that comes out, a lot of people are now hating on it out of nowhere. Okay, and the Indie Game Awards, this is kind of hilarious to call Clair Obscur Expedition 33 an indie game. Maybe the most asinine thing I have ever heard in my entire life. I mean, how is this game an indie game? It doesn't make any sense to call Expedition 33 an indie game. I mean, they had Kepler, they had some really big name actors and actresses, so I have no idea how Expedition 33 is considered an indie game, a game that has millions upon millions of dollars put towards it, that has a Hollywood deal, that has, like, the franchise is going to keep on getting bigger and bigger, and being able to win all of these awards is not, basically, it's not an indie game. I don't understand how anyone can call Expedition 33 an indie game. But besides this, I mean, Expedition 33 might be the most overrated video game of all time, okay? And again, I have said that the game had issues on PC. Most of these issues have been fixed. Some issues, they are still there. The game has glitches. It's very unpolished. And this is why I do believe that the game really shouldn't have even won Game of the Year. Now, if a game like Arc Raiders or if a game like, let's say, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 was barred from winning game awards for the Game of the Year awards just because of generative I think Expedition 33 should be facing the same fate. Because the thing is that, look, we didn't know that this game used generative AI until much later, until they won 18 game awards in one day. Okay, now for people to even go ahead and call this game an indie game, again, this is a problem. But the thing is that this just shows people's hypocrisy. When Call of Duty Black Ops 7, in my opinion, has a great campaign and has some AI, okay, used in the multiplayer. They had like the calling cards and stuff like that that were using generative AI. But then when it comes to, like, let's say Clair Obscur Expedition 33, a lot of people are just like, oh hey, this is like one of the best games I've ever played in my life. It's amazing, it's fantastic. And now people are kind of turning on it, being like, oh hey, this game was used by generative AI. But hold up, wait a minute. Aren't you saying that this game was one of the best games that you ever played in your life? Are people saying that this game is literally a JRPG when it's literally made by a French studio? It doesn't even qualify to even be a JRPG. When IGN says that this is the best JRPG of all time, are they really going to be walking that back now just because it used generative AI? Like, look, people like me, since day one, had problems with the game, okay? It's not my top 5 Game of the Year contenders, okay? I'm going to make that completely clear. But when it comes to it being a good game, I think it's a good game. I think that the combat system is fantastic. I think that the story is okay. And I think that the music is pretty good as well. So, I mean, hey, the game is alright. It's not amazing, it's not horrible or anything like that. But there are things like the story, which I consider one of the worst stories I have ever seen in my entire life. I mean, when it comes to, like, let's say the first 2 acts, I say the first 2 acts are pretty good. The third act, complete garbage, destroys the entire game, destroys immersion, destroys everything, okay? So, when it comes to this game, again, for me, I would say that I wouldn't really give it really anything. I mean, I think the best thing I could probably give it is the best turn-based combat. But then even then, I think Call of Duty Black Ops 7 had better gameplay in my opinion. So it's kind of a little difficult for me to say that, oh yeah, hey, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is considered a worse game than Expedition 33 gameplay wise, because I think Black Ops 7 probably has like the closest thing to perfect gameplay I've played this entire year. But Expedition 33 had some interesting characters. It had a pretty good story up until Act 2, I would say, and then after that, everything just fell apart, in my opinion, right? But for the Indie Game Awards to disqualify this game is, I think, kind of a little crazy, because I mean it won a lot of awards at the Game Awards. And now look, I'm not against people using AI, okay? Obviously, my background image in my banner, my YouTube banner, that's created with AI, okay? Like, I have no problem admitting that. But the thing is that if this game is actually using AI to the extent where, that it's no longer considered creative or anything like that, then I think that we have a problem here. But the thing is that, in my opinion, I think Expedition 33 did have some very creative art and had some very creative like characters and like a decent story as well. I'm not gonna say that the story was amazing or anything. Like I said, the entire story just falls apart during Act 3. But I think that the majority of the story, I would say like up until Act 2, I would say, was pretty good. I mean, it's like a decent story, but afterwards it just falls apart. Doesn't make any sense. I honestly think that they probably use AI to write that last part, but again, I have no proof. It just feels completely off to me, and some other stuff about the story as well just feels off. But I mean, hey, the Indie Game Awards, I don't know what game is probably going to be winning Game of the Year for Indie Game Awards. Maybe Hollow Knight, Silksong, maybe Blueprints. I've never actually played those two games. I've been hearing a lot of good things about them, but yeah, like I gotta say, guys, I mean, this AI generative stuff is definitely going to be coming up more and more, especially for games that are considered budget, like Clair Obscur Expedition 33, even though this game, again, had millions upon millions of dollars put into the development of this game and the marketing. Obviously, you have Charlie Cox. That's not cheap to get Charlie Cox, or it's not cheap to get Ben Starr, and it's not cheap to get what's her name, Jennifer English. So those three actors, actresses alone probably cost them a lot of money. Okay, so like, and then after that, of course, you have to pay Epic for Unreal Engine 5. So this game, even being considered an indie game, is probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen in gaming, to be honest. But I mean, hey, more and more games I think are going to be using generative AI. I don't think that this is something that we can really get away from. And like I said, sometimes generative AI, if you're relying too much on it, can be an issue. And the reason behind that is because AI can only really simulate creativity. You're basically not going to be seeing as many creative things as like humanly possible, obviously, right? So I think it's a good and bad thing that AI is kind of a little no being used a little bit here and there, but I mean, I would say overall, I think that it's kind of not really amazing, but it's not like horrible either. I'm kind of like in the middle right now. But I think that the Indie Game Awards basically disqualifying Expedition 33, if it was nominated in the Indie Game Awards, right, is kind of a little ridiculous in my opinion. And I do think that Expedition 33 is a very overrated game, but I don't think I would hate on it just for using AI. Okay, like I think that I am kind of further beyond that, because the problems with the game are actually problems with like the writing and the characters, and also like just the ending and the story and stuff like that. So that's like my main gripe with the game. I think the technical issues and stuff like that are pretty bad as well. The game is definitely not as polished as your modern AAA game. This is why I had kind of more of a problem with this game going ahead and winning 18 game awards in one night. So like, hey, if you like Expedition 33, I know I talk to people that say that, oh, hey, this is like one of my favorite games of all time. There's no problem with that, but I think you guys should probably play some other JRPGs, especially turn-based RPGs, like, Persona, which I've never played before, but I've been hearing that it's really good, and I really want to try it, like Metaphor ReFantazio. There's a lot of other ones as well, like Golden Sun, that's a very good one. There's tons of them. Final Fantasy, like, there's so many RPGs, JRPGs, that kind of stuff, right? So I can't really name them all right now. I know Lost Odyssey is a very popular one as well, which actually the Clair Obscur Expedition 33 devs were actually inspired by, apparently. So yeah, I mean, hey, what do you guys think about Expedition 33 being barred from the Indie Game Awards? Do you think that it's a good thing? Do you think that's a bad thing? And let me know, what did your impression of Sandfall, the company that made this game, using generative AI, like what is your opinion on them now? Do you trust them still? Are you like, oh hey, like they'll go ahead and they'll still make another masterpiece like Expedition 33, a quote unquote masterpiece? Like I said before, again, I'm just going with the consensus, right? But when it comes to Expedition 33, guys, I think that the developers have definitely learned from this, because they've also went ahead and they said that they will no longer be using AI and everything will be human made. So we'll see how Expedition 34 or whatever the sequel or whatever next game Sandfall works on. I am very interested to see. I really hope that it's going to be a success, and I really hope that they'll go ahead and they will scrap the use of generative AI. So, alright guys, it's going to be it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.